First you take the hose for the pump that you want, and then you place it on the injection tank. And as you can see here, there are numbers according to which pump. This is pump number 1, and there is pump number 2. So in order to start the calibration, go into the PC monitor, and the first thing you do is you press on the key, and then you press user setup, and then you have number 4, DC injection. You press this one. Initially you can see that the last time pump number 1 was calibrated, it used 292 pulses per liter. So in order to start a new calibration, we have to activate, and we do this by pressing this one. So now you will hear a beeping, and that tells you that it's ready to calibrate. So now we are on the back of the sprayer, and there you have two outlets. This because this particular machine has 2 injection pumps. The pump on the outlet on the left is for pump number 1, and the outlet on the right is for pump number 2. And over here you have the controls marked also 1 and 2 to the according pump. If you have a look at this handle, there is an arrow. When the arrow is pointing outwards, the valve is open, so that you can get water out of the system. And when you turn it the other way, then it's closed, which means that no water can come out of the system. So when calibrating, you have to turn them open. So there's 2 options on this switch. When you pull the switch down, it starts to calibrate, and if you pull it back up again, then you will reset the calibration. So let's try and calibrate. Skal du ikke have den endnu? Den der?
Nej, okay. Der skal først komme vand ud.
Yeah. So now we are emptying the system because there is air inside the system. So we are now pulling the water directly from the tank, and now water is coming out. Water has to come out at a steady stream in order to ensure that there is no air inside the system, otherwise the calibration will be faulty. So now we have a steady stream of water coming out, which means there's no air in the system. So notice that we now press the contact up, which will reset the calibration, and we're now ready to do a new calibration. So now we put on the measuring gauge and we pull down. And we have to get minimum 200 milliliters out here. The more you put out into the glass, the more accurate the calibration will be, of course, but minimum 200 milliliters. So, and let's see how much came out. So you can see this is 500 milliliters. Good. So now we know that the pump has put out 500 milliliters during this calibration. Good. So now we're back inside the tractor looking at the monitor. And if you see here, this auto calibration, it says now that the pump thinks it has delivered 0.45 liters. But as we just did the measuring, we measured 0.5 liters. So let's change this. 0.5. And as you notice now, the pulses per liter has changed, and the calibration has now been done. Push this off, and now we are out of the calibration mode again, and you can also hear that the monitor stopped beeping. This should be done for every pump, and if you scroll down here you will find pump number 2, 3, 4, and all of the calibrations are similar.